Friday. What's up, man? Justin, you got a mic there today. What's up with that?
What's this, guys? No, I'm really excited. I got my microphone here. I look all nice and legit now. You know, I can do the whole like little tap thing, get a little close. I can I could drop it. I can turn it up a little bit for you guys.
There you go.
I'm very excited to have the microphone working. We got in like the last 2 weeks, I think I've upgraded the internet, added the ring light, and got the microphone. The only step back we have to take is that the microphone only hooks up to the computer, and I need to get an additional camera so it doesn't look like I have this 5-foot microphone in my face and it looks a little bit more like yours.
Yep.
You know, but we'll get there. We'll get there. High def camera next. Usually broadcast from the iPad, but obviously the mic can't go through that. But anyway, we are here. We are live. We are in full Techna audio. We got some good baseball today, coming off a decent day for me. I mean, I had 2 of my plays canceled. I played the Dodgers run line, which got voided because of 8 innings. And then I played the Giants, which also got postponed to today. But we cashed the Marlins. So not a bad day. Not a bad day. How you doing, Mike? How's Nadal and Djokovic going?
Hasn't started yet.
Oh, really?
The other match ahead of it went to the 5th set. Tsitsipas was up 2-0, and Zverev won set 3 and 4. Zverev was also up 40-love on a return serve game to start the 5th set, and then Tsitsipas came back and won that game and the set, won the match. Incredible match, but Nadal has not started yet, so we'll see. We got some line movement on it though. That's always fun to talk about, right?
That was kind of exciting to see. I mean, that's not a small amount of movement either. You got like 20 or 30 points on each line, right?
Yeah, 30 and 40. So I took Djokovic plus 220. It's down to 190 now. I went to 5 sets at plus 300. It is down to 260 at my last check. Let's see. Yeah, 260 now on William Hill for 5 sets. So I played the plus 1.5 sets on DraftKings. There's just all sorts of different offerings across the different books, but I have a non-insignificant amount of money on this match. So I have really over 2 full units on this match. Best case scenario is Nadal loses in a 5-set match. If that happens, we will be celebrating a little bit for sure.
Oh, you and me both, but I think I only put 1 unit across the bets on this one. I said, okay, I'll take 1 unit on Djokovic and I'll spread it out across a couple plays. That's kind of what I did. I went with, I think I hit every single line that correlates to it for a quarter unit. So I took the money line at like plus 220 this morning. I took the spread. I took plus 1.5 sets. I took plus 4.5 games, and I took the over 37.5 games because again, that correlates.
All correlated.
Right. So, I think the over is going to be a good one. I'm hoping for a good match. I mean, this is a historic match, right? So this is probably, he's going to pass Federer. One of my friends who watches a lot of tennis was talking with me today, and it's like, is Nadal ever going to lose on clay again? You don't know. This might be one of those chances, one of those few chances where that might happen. And I know when you and I were talking this morning, you were mentioned that this match is actually a rematch of like a couple of years ago or last year, and Djokovic was the odds-on favorite, right? So
I was incorrect when I mentioned that to you, but it was much closer. I think it ended up closing Nadal with some of the action there. Ended up closing like minus 130 on it. Justin, turn your mic up a little bit if you can. They said they're having some people are having a little hard time hearing you. But,
this is literally, I'm getting the text from Christina at the moment too. This is literally my first time
Day
using
one.
it, so I do apologize. I'll figure out my settings. I'll go back and listen. But thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I wish, obviously we don't have 20 minutes to talk on the early edge about the play. So, but I obviously would have given you all the correlated plays, the overs, the number of games. I believe at one point you could get him at plus 5.5 games, which I liked quite a bit as well. But yeah, I don't know if we need to talk about this one anymore. It's getting ready to start at some point here soon. We are fading Nadal. If you want to hear some of the reasoning, go back and watch the Sportsline Early Edge.
For sure.
But yeah,
let's get into baseball today. I mean, we don't have any afternoon baseball, which I know always disappoints you on a Friday. Always disappoints me
any day of the week.
Yeah, but I really like a Friday.
We do have an afternoon game. What are you talking about? The Cubs are playing 1 o'clock, 1:20.
You know what's been going on with me? I swear to God, I have my betting book set at West Coast time, and it is screwing everything up in my head.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it starts to count my late night wins on the next day, and I hate that even more than what's happening with my brain. So I set it on West Coast time. So I have everything wrong with the game. So I probably saw it at 11 a.m. I don't even want to get into it. But all right, what's the day game? Is it the Giants?
No, it's going to be the Cubs and Cardinals. Awesome little rivalry there in the NL Central. Two teams that obviously absolutely hate each other, especially fan bases. So I probably should have put the Cubs hat on just for the little show here, but I didn't. It was not up this morning. The Cubs did not announce a starting pitcher. It's Oviedo and Cole Stewart for the Cubs. Stewart was not announced until relatively recently.
All right, I get somewhat of a pass on that one then, right? Because I'm not sitting here going crazy and thinking I just didn't hit a game this morning. But all right, it looks like I don't know either of those pitchers. I mean, do you have anything to say about them?
Not a ton. I mean, I think that the Cubs are the better lineup in this spot. This is one of the games where we see the Cubs at basically close to full strength now. They've had injury issues and people out of the lineup at times.
Right.
Jock Peterson's back in the lineup. Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras, Patrick Wisdom, who just apparently hits home runs every other day like it's nothing. Jason Hayward back in the lineup. Sergio Alcantara is going to be playing as well. It's basically the healthiest the Cubs have been all season. Decent air quality. The wind blowing in at Wrigley is obviously always something to note, but in terms of the air quality itself, it's a pretty big positive VMI for the Cubs at home, plus 6.8. Air density index down to 61. I definitely think it's an over lean. But like I said, the lineup is healthy. Oviedo 363 expected weighted on base average. I don't even have Cole Stewart's numbers up. I didn't simulate this one because I didn't have the pitching info when I ran through everything this morning. So I don't have a live number up here for you on it. I've been in full tennis mode today, kind of sweating that out. But it's just being 100% honest with you. I haven't simulated this game. I'll
tell you what I'm seeing from the numbers quickly. I mean, again, I saw someone on Twitter calling this the opening day part 2 for the Cubs. So I thought that was pretty funny. It's true. But no, I think that they're probably going to end up being the sharper side in this one. Oviedo, he has nicer stuff in the sense of he doesn't induce a lot of barrel percentage. I mean, a lot of hard hit. The barrel percentage is there, but the hard hit percentage is still above average or strongly above average, which is very interesting. Cole Stewart, on the other hand, he's not as much of a ground baller per se. He has a little bit of a harder hit percentage. It's a little higher up there, but yet his weighted OBA, his batting average, his slugging percentage are all pretty much better than his counterpart going today. Also a much better walk rate. So, I don't think it's going to be a high strikeout game. So it seems like it's going to be a decent play for the over. Obviously, day games, I don't think either team played yesterday, if my memory serves correct. So
they did not.
Right. So a rested day game doesn't really have that hiccup that sometimes a day game after a night game can have. These guys should be good to go. They should be feeling good. And this is a rivalry game. So it should be a fun one.
Running through it. Yeah, running through it, I do lean over. I saw the comments in there too. Just real quickly looking at it, it's going to be 9.6 for me in this game. If I had to play it, it would be Cubs on the run line plus 140 before I'm laying the minus 135 myself. But I do like Cubs on the run
Does
line
have
plus
it as a fair
140
play, but you know more.
on the Cubs.
Yeah, on the Cubs. So it's interesting. They have
Interesting.
them winning by zero point 0.7 runs, which is interesting. I mean, I don't take any one model as my Bible. I don't even take Mike's model as my Bible. I think part of what got me to where I am today is analyzing and dissecting various models for accuracy. And so I've never really just adhered to one thing by itself. But there's a couple decent models on this today. I mean, 538 has the Cubs at a 58% chance to win today, which I do think is a little better than 135 if I'm doing the math correctly in my head. But yeah, I think the Cubs are probably a sharp side in the over too, if I had to, but I'm not playing it. So
Yeah, no, that's where I would lean. Your math is correct there, just slightly. It's mostly efficient. 58 is going to be minus 138.
Okay, so not really enough from that model alone, but still.
Yeah. For me, like I said, it's lean over, but the problem on the over is you're paying minus 120 on the 9. 9.5 is the correct number, but you do invite that loss condition by going up to 9.5 at this point. So for me, if I played it, if you want to donkey around and play a little bit, drop a tenth of a unit to a quarter of a unit on the Cubs run line plus 140. Don't hate that at all. Let's move on to the next game. I believe it's Giants Nationals, the one you had a play on yesterday, do not have the play on today, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I think they've lost about 3 to 4% of expected win potential based on the day of rest. Honestly, I think the day of rest, the postponement helps the Nationals a lot. My whole play was pretty much talking about how this unrested Nationals bullpen was going to have a problem against the heavy slugging Giants. And now they get Hand and Hudson a day of rest after throwing a combined 74 pitches. It's going to make a big difference. They might not have even run those guys out of the pen last night. And tonight, if they need them for 2 innings, they're going to use them because, they want to beat one of the best teams in the league. It'd be a great win for them in the NL East. So, yeah, I'm laying off. I think you got to let this one ride now. If anything, I'd probably go the other way on the run line if I had to.
Yeah, for me, I think it was. I think that Scherzer will still pitch deep. So if the strikeout prop is still there, I don't hate it. But other than that, it's pretty easy stay away for me on this day. So
yeah, 67 air density and negative VMI on both teams for anyone interested, and wind blowing towards like the away dugout at 10 miles an hour. So should be a decent chance for an under. If I had to go on a bet there, I would go the under.
Yep, cool. I could definitely get in line with that. Let's see.
Speaking of unders, we have the Mets in San Diego. So this one finally, I think, creeped up to 6, right? It was sitting at 5.5 this morning, the line for the total. This is a really interesting one. You have 2 great pitchers, DeGrom and why is his name escaping me, Mike? Blake Snell. Blake Snell. Right. Blake Snell is not a Jacob DeGrom. There is not another Jacob DeGrom in this league. Jacob DeGrom is a modern marvel. He is the Giancarlo Stanton of pitchers. In fact, Giancarlo Stanton might be the Jacob DeGrom of hitters.
There you go.
How powerful of a pitcher he is. His slider is ridiculous. Like it is just a thing to behold. How are you going to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball at like right at the letters, and then he drops a slider that moves to your ankle within the last 40 feet? Like it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
Yep, he's one of the best there. Do you have any interest in betting on him or the game in any way here?
Yeah, I do have a small play on it. I do have a quarter of a unit on the Mets today.
Okay,
I didn't make it to the sports line. It's not like an edge that I have enough on that I'm going to go after, but I just think it's too good of a price for Jacob DeGrom. I don't think I got it at the price it's at now. I think it's like minus 160 or so if sports line's numbers are correct. And I think it was a little better this morning. The market definitely jumped on it for about 10 cents, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it looks like 5 to 10 cents was where it was at. About 84% of the action, well, 70 to 80% coming in on the Mets.
Not crazy.
I don't have a strong take on it. I don't have the edge needed to bet DeGrom, but I'm, a little skeptical. But
yeah, I think the under might have some legs. The Mets have a ridiculous under record at Citi Field. I think they've only gone over 3 times. It's something stupid. I don't know how it keeps happening. You would think at this point in the Did my AirPods just connect to my phone? That's so annoying. Okay, but anyway, not important. But no, I think that what we're gonna see is the Mets win. This one stay under. I like that it moved to 6 because you get an extra win condition by on betting the under, right? So now if it goes to 6, you
Yeah.
push rather than lose at 5.5. So if anything, that one might find its way to Sportsline tonight. I do like the under 6. Definitely the Padres under team total. If that's at like 2.5, I don't even know how you don't take that.
Yeah, I still don't have the model edge on it for the under, but obviously where the head goes for sure.
For sure.
But 6 is obviously just a very, very low total.
It is.
Blake Snell, we've talked about him and some of his inability to pitch super deep into games. There's enough pop in those Mets bats that it's not going to shock me if we have, but the other thing too is like we could very easily have 4 runs from the Mets and DeGrom not give up anything here in this. So
I'm just going to take the chance because I probably only get this chance like, 1.3 times a week to say Jacob DeGrom's numbers. But I'm gonna talk to you about just how good he is so you understand this because I think it's important. 99th percentile in expected batting average, 100th percentile in expected ERA, 100th percentile in expected weighted on base average, 98th percentile in expected slugging, 97th percentile in walk percentage, 98th percentile in whiff percentage, 100th percentile in chase rate. This man, 100th percentile in fastball velocity. Like this is gross. This is gross. And that fastball, his heat map on where he puts these pitches, it is ridiculous. The placement he has, he's always in the upper corner with the fastball and the lower corner with the slider. And how do you not bet on this guy when you get a line like minus 160? It's just, it's too good. But anyway,
yeah, I don't completely disagree with you. I don't have the exact edge needed to do it, but
he's a legend.
My question to you would be, how do you feel about the Mets minus half a run, minus 120 in the first 5? How do you feel about them being ahead in the game at the end of 5 innings?
I feel pretty good about that, honestly. I do.
So I do too. I like that better than laying minus 160 personally.
I do too.
But
yeah. But again, are you saying on the run line or the money line? Because I'm sure the first 5 money line is steeper than the full.
Yes, correct. No, it's the run line. They have to be winning. My question is, do you think the Mets can be up 1-0 at the end of 5?
Yeah, I think if anything, it's going to be 2-0. The Mets offense is getting a lot of slack or flack. Sorry, they're not getting slack. They're getting flack, and they don't deserve it this week. They have been a lot better. A lot better. Yeah. I mean, I'm pulling it up now. In the last 2 weeks, their weighted run creation is second in the majors in the last 2 weeks, only behind the Astros by 1%. That's ridiculous. This is the New York Mets in the last 14 days of the season, the second best team at created runs.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good. The caution there is obviously like, who did they play? Where did they play? They obviously got some American League ballpark games that gave them the designated hitter, some very friendly pitching matchups where they put up 12 runs, things like that. So those have to be accounted for a little bit, but I agree with it. Obviously, I'm saying that I think that the Mets on the first 5 run line is the way I would play it personally.
Yeah. I think that's probably a nice way to go. I mean, I just doesn't WRC Plus take into account park factors? I believe it does. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
Ballparks. So, but the matchups is probably a good counterpoint to that stat.
Yeah, I was just talking about the actual 2-week time frame is, a series where they're in an American League park with a massive park shift is going to make their last 2 weeks look a lot better. Right.
And it does look
next
looks a lot better.
It definitely looks a lot better. There's no doubt about that. Mariners Indians is what I have next, but I don't know what we can follow your schedule if you want. Mariners Indians.
No, I think we're both using the VMI schedule at this point, which is probably the way to do it. The Mariners Indians, again, nothing crazy here. I think probably just a full pass for me. I haven't really checked this one out. This is just like some bad teams, in my opinion, and it's hard to handicap teams where you don't know what's going to happen.
Yep. So in this one for me, if you want to play it, the best way I'm going to have exposure to it is I'm going to have the Cleveland Indians stacked in daily fantasy. That's another, like, if you're someone that has access to play both, it's another great way to go about it. If you can't quite get to the number that the market is requiring you to play, that's where I'm at on the Indians today at this price point. I like Jose Ramirez quite a bit. I like Eddie Rosario. I like a few of their bats in this matchup. The air density overall, very friendly hitting conditions for Cleveland and Progressive Field. I believe it's still Progressive Field. Maybe it's not, but I think it's a great spot for him there. But I'm going to elect to get my exposure to it through the DFS side. If you're not able to play DFS, you like the Indians, want to get down on it. It's another one where we don't love to typically play home run lines all that often, but this is one that I'd be okay with, just like the Cubs earlier, getting plus 140. You should be able to get this run line minus 1.5 plus 120. That is the way I would lean on this one over laying the minus 160. Like I said, I don't have real value on either, but I'd be a lot more comfortable not losing an additional half unit there.
I agree. I think the sharp money seems to be on the Mariners a little bit, but there seems to be a lot of people betting the Indians. When you get that big of a handle on a side, that's usually an indication for me to like have some caution. I do not want to bet with 80% of people. I do not want to bet with 80% of the money unless I have a distinct edge that like is telling me, like, regardless of what I'm seeing, right? But if I'm using sharp indicators, if I'm using money indicators, if I'm trying to get a feel for the market in order to get an edge, and I see something along the lines of 89% of the handle, 80% of the handle, I'm either going the other way on principle or I'm running for the hills and not touching it. So I'm going with option 2 today. I'm running for the hills on this one. There's no point to try to handicap something like that.
Right. Can you turn your mic up at all? Do you have the mic or the main mix? Either one mic or the mic.
Is that better?
Can you max that?
I can't like hear myself, so I don't really know
there
how
you
this
go.
is working.
That one sounds a lot better.
The difference? Yeah.
I can hear the difference. I think everyone will be happy now.
Okay. I'll talk a little closer to it too. I'm sorry. This is literally why the show was delayed starting 15 minutes. And also the point of this is to get this right so that when I'm on the early edge tomorrow morning, no one has to be like, hey, Justin, you freaking idiot, get your mic right. So no, we're here. We're learning as we go. We are getting more professional every single day. But yeah, I'm very excited to have this stupid thing, even if I don't know how to use it yet. But I'll figure it out.
Yep.
Anyway, next game is going to be the Braves and the Marlins. Just cashed a nice Marlins bet. Yeah, so I'm not going anywhere close. They probably lose.
Yeah, tonight. The Marlins are tagged as the sharp side here. I can't say that I completely agree with it, but I don't really have. I certainly don't have a play on either side of the game, but they are tagged as the sharp side in this one. Roof's going to be closed in Miami. I know we get air density numbers, but it's going to be closed. Alcantara versus Charlie Morton. Talks about it with Morton. He hasn't actually lived up to exactly what we thought he would this season. I like this park shift for him. It is a massive positive park shift for him. I think that if I had to play it, I would play the Braves at this point. However, the Marlins are tracking as the sharp side. Alcantara is interesting. This Braves offense is still a very dangerous, good offense. Definitely. I like the Braves a little tiny bit at minus 115, but not enough to have a play on either side. Just wanted to point out that the Marlins are tracking as the sharp side.
I would agree. It looks like it. Morton is solid. He has a 3.65 expected FIP compared to his 4.21 ERA. So he is getting a little unlucky. That's not the smallest amount, but they are in line with his career numbers, right? He has about a 4.1 career ERA, 3.8 career FIP or so. But no, I think what the story is here is that the Marlins have probably underperformed or gotten a little unlucky this year. They have one of the better run differentials in the National League East. I think second best in the division. So they probably have lost a couple of games that they shouldn't have this year. And I don't really know how I would feel about backing them up here. I do think Alcantara has been really nice this season. But his numbers, again, don't show it. Like a 3-5 record, you probably should be getting like 1 or 2 more of those wins off of a pitcher with a 3.3 ERA. So, and especially with that run differential. So I don't know. I like the over. I do. I think 7's a little low here today. Can't really understand why that's there. Both of these teams clearly have what it takes to clobber that number on their own. We've seen those performances from the Braves, and we've seen those performances from Miami. So I'd lean over if I had to, but yeah, I'm not really playing it. I understand why both teams are favored by some smart people, but I don't know. Braves have been walked off in the last 2 games, so you got to think they're looking for a win tonight.
Oh yeah, they're definitely looking for the win. I think the only real angle that I have to attack it is just the real positive park shift overall for Charlie Morton. I think that getting him out of Atlanta right now is a really good thing for him. So that's why I would lean towards the Braves. Don't have enough to play it though. We got a question here, a very important one from the chat. I don't know if you can see the question or not, but it's a question for you about your appearance.
I need a shave, honestly, is where I'm at. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks, and it needs to go. It needs to go. It'll probably be gone for the early edge this weekend. But I could do some crazy stuff, but I'd also, get disavowed by my lovely girlfriend who I don't want that. But no, I do have that potential. One day I'll mess around with it. I'll show up on the show with like the Fu Manchu or something, and you'll be like, "What the shit are you doing, dude?" But yeah, I could really do the whole thing. But again, my mother would probably call me and be like, "What are you doing? Isn't this supposed to be like something professional here? Aren't you supposed to like look good?"
Right.
But I could. That's a great question. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for asking. White Sox Tigers next. This one I find to be super interesting. Scooble has been electric on the mound. He's definitely found the strikeout ball. I believe the Maestro has a play on the over on his strikeouts. And then obviously you have the White Sox getting that lefty. He has recently. He has like 50 strikeouts in his last 30 or 32 innings, something crazy, which is a lot for him. The batted ball data is still not super pretty.
No. There's a reason strikeouts. He is There's a reason he's not doing well.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a very very high variance outcome coming from Scooble here. 357 weighted on base average, but also that ridiculous strikeout rate as of late. I like the White Sox here. I don't love the number. It would have to be a run line only play for me or a team total play. I am not expecting them to strike out double digits against them in this spot. And believe it or not, this is one you would think that would be a pretty neutral or bad park shift for them. It's really not. You look at the VMI numbers, even in Detroit, the air density index 59 tonight, positive VMI almost 3 for the Chicago White Sox. They're on the road, getting that left-handed pitcher, guaranteed 9th inning team at bat, which is not insignificant for a team that usually has a good positive environment at home and is typically going to be a 58+% favored team. So when you can guarantee them that extra 9th inning at bat, it's not insignificant at all when you're dealing with totals, team totals, all of that.
Yep. I'm with you. This was one that I personally stayed away from. Not going to be my favorite type of game to play. Scooball, the strikeout numbers are there, but this is just not the team to miss pitches on. And that's what happens with a rookie. He misses pitches. He does. And when he doesn't, he's probably going to strike you out. He's great stuff. The whiffs are there. But I mean, we could talk about I'm going to actually pull up his whiff percentages here. The K rate is pretty close to Giolito's. So, this is going to be an interesting potential underplay. If they're both on and they both strike out 8, there's not going to be many opportunities for anyone to score. But Scooball has a 67th percentile whiff percentage and a 75th percentile K percentage. And basically everything besides that and the fastball velocity is under the average. So take it as you will. He's a 24-year-old 9th round draft pick. So drafted in 2018. He's a rookie. He pitched last year.
I believe he's able to qualify.
Yeah, he only threw 600 pitches, so makes sense.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to be a high variance outcome. Like if they're both on, then you clearly have the under can have legs for sure, but this is also one of those scenarios. If he doesn't play well and doesn't pitch well, not getting those strikeouts, the White Sox could cover the 8 on their own. So
definitely, most definitely.
But all right, let's see what's next. Baltimore, Tampa.
I'm playing this one. This is
one you have a play on.
My scary play of the day. My dog of the day. This is not an easy play to muster up the courage to put a full unit on, but it is exactly what I have done today. Thank you very much for your support. No, I love it too. I got it 156 this morning. I'm all over it. I think that this is a great positive shift for the pitchers for the Orioles, right? We don't talk about it enough, honestly. We can talk about it more. We do talk about it, but we don't talk about it enough. Like, these park shifts are so big. And Keegan Aiken, he's nothing crazy, but it's hard for people to score runs at Tropicana. It just is hard. And so with the lefty on the mound against the Orioles, who we have talked about, they're raking against lefties. And if they continue that type of performance, it shouldn't matter how tough the park is. They should be able to muster up a couple runs and, hopefully squeak out a win on a Friday in Tampa.
Yeah,
they look to be the sharp side,
theme. Oh yeah, definitely. Same theme to what I did with the Nationals against them the other day. There are 2 spots where you pick on the Rays, right? You pick on them with a left-handed pitcher because they're not good against lefties, and you pick on them when they're at home in a much more difficult run-scoring environment, which is typically going to help your left-handed pitcher out significantly. So makes a ton of sense. Right there with you. Let's go Orioles.
Let's go Orioles. There's there's some interesting stuff that we get to see as you break down the season day in and day out. I mean, there are legitimate teams that you could probably separate into home and away teams. They play so differently. The Rays being one, the Rockies being one. These teams that have these significant park shifts, they play differently when they're home or away. It's just and you know what? The market doesn't necessarily have the eye for it that you can develop if you look at it every day. So travel's really important. You'll never hear Mike disagree with me on that. I know that. So
no, definitely not. Blue Jays at Red Sox next. Back to pretty bad air quality for the Boston Red Sox at Fenway today. 68 air density index, pretty big negative VMI for Toronto and meaningful negative VMI for them. Do you have any thoughts on this one? I mean, I think that we always have some thoughts on these. My first thought is another game that just screams high variance, a lot like that White Sox game. With Stripling and Richards on the mound, both of these guys have massive blow-up potential. Stripling has flashed some strikeout upside at times. Not sure this is the lineup that he's going to have it against, but you have anything on this one?
Short answer is I don't. Long answer is I'd probably lean towards a contrarian under here today. Pretty tough to do, but again, if you're going to go on weather factors, these pitchers could show up. But again, they're both kind of crappy. So staying the heck out of this one. They both have like hard hit percentages above 40. They both have, Ross Stripling's like a fly ball pitcher more so or less, right? I don't think he's like an average, 28% fly ball rate, which is pretty crazy. I don't know. We'll see. Garrett Richards knows how to avoid some barrels. Stripling doesn't. I'd probably lean towards the Red Sox if I had to make a play. I do think that's why they're favored, but nothing for me here. And I don't think the market is really on this one too much at all today. I think it's priced pretty accurately.
Yeah, no, this one is one of the most efficient ones in the market for me today.
For sure.
But I wish I could play it in some way, but there's no way to get there.
Literally like nothing. On to the next game is the Rockies and the Reds.
Another one that you've got to play on.
Yeah. So, all year I've been Mr. Fade the Rockies. It's worked pretty well. I think I've taken like a couple stupid losses, but I don't think this is going to be one of them. Tyler Mahle is all that. He's pretty good. He has the numbers that you want to see for a team that is struggling away from home, that has traveled since last night. I think the run line's a good way to play it. I don't want to take it at minus 220, minus 230 like we were getting. I am seeing the sharp side being the Rockies, but I find it hard to believe that they would succeed against Melee the day after Rogers and traveling. Like, they don't have a great VMI. It's gonna be a tough day for them.
Yeah, and this one's got some weather issues too. It's going to be raining, humid. It could have some actual weather issues in this one. So I don't hate it. I'm definitely not playing it personally, but if I did, obviously, I think the only way you can play it is going to be that Reds. You're not playing Reds on the money line. You're playing Reds run line, or you're playing Rockies
run line minus 110 is what I got this morning. So
yeah,
or no. Was it? It might have been minus 110. Yeah, it's minus 106 now. So the market is moving the other way, but at 5 cents, I'm not even going to bat an eyelash. Like, that might honestly be positive reinforcement for me at this point with how we've been doing with closing line value. Shout out Cleveland. But
shout out those Indians.
Shout out Cleveland Indians. But okay, next game coming up. This is an interesting one. Probably the biggest donkey money line of the day. Minus 300 for the Milwaukee Brewers against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah,
man, Chase DeYoung shouldn't even be in the rotation, right? He's starting because of injuries. Yep. He's bad. He's just not good. This should be a mess. This should be obvious. This is going to be in probably way too many parlay legs today. And it should honestly cash. I mean, Brandon Woodruff, 1.42 ERA for a reason. The dude's nasty, and the Pirates aren't necessarily good.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that if you're playing it, it's another one of those scenarios. We say it probably once a week. You want to blindly play the plus 250 underdog. Like, if you're willing to do that throughout the course of the season, you're probably going to make money doing so. It's going to be very hard for you to lose money long term if you do it every single time.
It's a huge line.
There's no chance I'm laying it with the Brewers. Just no chance. So.
75% win expectancy on the Brewers is minus 300. Am I doing the math correctly? I mean, that's what it seems like, I think.
Yeah, right? I'm showing minus 272, minus 275 in some of the spots. Is it minus 300 at some of the books?
The consensus money line on Action is at 300 at the moment.
Oh, yeah. So minus 300 is exactly 75% implied. So, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be in our donkey parlay today. That's about all I'll say about it. I understand maybe taking them on the run line. Minus 135. This also could be a 2-1 game, and they could blow the run line. So,
yeah, I mean, I think that if you really like Milwaukee in this spot, I'd be okay with the under 7.5. Personally, if you think Woodruff's going to shut them down to that point, I think that that's okay, but. The issue with it is they could very well put 6 runs on the on Chase DeYoung pretty easily. So
what about the Pirates
overall,
team total? You wouldn't go under 2.5 on the team total, right? That's how I would play it. I feel like,
yeah, totally fine to do that if you want to. If you told me I had to play the game, I would still play the plus 250 personally. But
no, I think I agree with you there. I mean, if you're win chasing and you don't want to pay the juice, you probably chase the run line on it. I know Matt Severance is taking this play today because I read every single pick that goes up on Sportsline obsessively to see what everyone else is doing because I'm hyper competitive, like Jordan. But I love having this mic here because I can emphatically mean to tell you guys things by going close to it. It's great. It's like having a partner on screen with you, but who doesn't know more than me at least. But no. I think it's going to be a good game for the Brewers. I do think that they could run that total out of the water themselves. So if you want to play an under, you definitely want to maybe lean towards playing the Pirates under. If you want to take the Brewers to go over, I don't hate them over 5.5 either. Is it 5.5? That's kind of, yeah, I think it was 5.5, 4.5. Okay. 4.5 is a lot more reasonable. But yeah, should be an interesting one to see how that one comes out. Excited to talk about that one later.
But
all right.
Next one. Houston Astros at Minnesota Twins. This is one of my plays of the day here. I have the Astros on the first 5 run line, minus a half a run, minus 110, minus 115. I ended up playing at minus 115. I don't know what it's up to now. My guess is that it's probably moved after we gave it out, but they're minus 120 now on the half run. Still don't hate it. Like it a lot more than the the total number that you're having to lay for the full game. But I have some minor concerns about playing the full game. A lot of that's going to do to the fact that the Astros are on a long road trip. They've used the bullpen just a little bit in some of these games, especially that series with the Red Sox. So I am a little cautious there, not loving that. I'm not laying minus 160 in the first 5 money line. I will take that loss condition as if, if the score is tied after 5, but I want to pick on Matt Shoemaker as often as I possibly can. And the Astros lineup is healthy, right? A lot like the Cubs lineup. Yes. This Astros lineup is finally healthy right now. Altuve, Correa, Bregman, Alvarez, Gurriel, Brantley, Tucker, all of those guys are in the lineup together. They're a different team when that happens, as you've kind of seen recently. So that's where I'm at today.
I'm with you. I do like the bit about the Houston Astros bullpen. Brooks Raley, Blake Taylor, and Ole Paredes all pitched yesterday for about 15 pitches each. The bullpen took the loss. So, going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to have the middle relievers really ready to go for them today. They only have a 5-man bullpen. So expect Urquidy to be sent out there to probably pitch, 6 innings, whether he's doing great or not. It wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah, I don't hate sort of cutting your bet off after the first 55% of the game, which is about what 5 innings are to 9. But yeah, it should be a good game here. I'm really excited to see if the Twins offense comes alive. I definitely love fading Matt Shoemaker. 7.28 ERA you don't get by accident. Not really sure how he continues to pitch in the league. I've said it a couple times. He is basically about the worst you can be. Him and like Kyle and that guy for the Brewers who pitched that other day, who the Reds were supposed to go off on. I can't remember his name. But anyway, there's some guys who are like the lowest possible potential for a pitcher, and still they're on major league rosters. So I don't really get it. 159 minus 159 for the Astros seems almost like cheap considering how bad he's been. Yep. Yeah, I like their team total over. I like them first 5 run line. I think this is a big Astros spot.
Yeah, I could not agree more. So that's where I'm at on it. I don't think there's really anything else to say about it other than it's massive positive hitting environment overall.
Yep, definitely.
59 air density, big VMI positive for the Houston Astros. Wind blowing out at 10 miles per hour. Yep. No chance of rain, really. Just going to be overcast, 60% humidity. That's hitter's paradise.
Hitter's paradise. All right. Speaking of, we're going to Arizona, where the VMIs are massive tonight. Now, this one was deleted off of my sheet before I sent them into Sportsline this morning. I was going to play the over. I was going to take the over in this one. But I got a little scared off by just how bad Arizona's offense has been in the last couple of weeks. So instead I pivoted and I played the Angels team total over, which I can't put on the site. So you're hearing it from me now. I have a full unit play on the Angels team total over today. They have a massive VMI, and Kelly is not very good.
Yeah. Good spot. Yeah, that's interesting. So no Ohtani batting, right? Or does he get to? No, he does not get to bat.
No, he's not batting.
Because it's in the National League Park. It's a National League game. He's pitching. Therefore, he's not batting.
He's not allowed to bat at all? Wait, wouldn't he bat automatically?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, that's why I'm backwards. I'm saying that's why I like it. I'm an idiot. I'm saying that's why I like this is because he is batting in this game because he is the pitcher.
Right. He's
so
not
it's a lot like correct. It's like you're giving the Angels a designated hitter in the National League Park is what I'm trying to say. I'm being an idiot today.
There we go. It's all right. It's something. Yes. It's Friday. We're feeling good. Yes. It's summer. Mike, probably out playing a couple of too many rounds of tennis. The sun's getting to him a little bit, but I think I got to get back on the court. We're gonna broadcast that game. We're gonna bring both of our podcast mics out, and you can hear Mike and I share Pova out on the court. But no, it should be a fun time. We're gonna do that this summer for sure, though. But anyway, 2 more games left on the slate. I know we are 45 minutes. We're not going too long today. It's just already 1:30. Yep. Kansas City and Oakland. This is a really interesting one. I know that Oakland is expected to win this. They're probably going to show up. They're not going to be the sharp side, though. I don't trust Cole Irvin at 4-7. Brady Singer. This has been happening all year. The Royals are better at pitching away from home. They just are.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the most dense air spots in the country. This could be a spot where he tacks a win on his record tonight. I stayed away.
Yeah, definitely stayed away, but it is the sharp side. I have just slight value on the Kansas City Royals here. Obviously not feeling great about it, but I am also obviously a huge fan of taking advantage of those park shifts, and he's going to get a few free outs in this one because of the ballpark they're playing in. So it's definitely the sharp side in the market. There's a small model edge. You want to toss a quarter unit on it, I think it's totally fine, but it is not a full play for me.
I just want to take this time to mention how annoying I find the VMI site to be in terms of their graphical representations of the wind. They changed the size of the arrow from the generic small size to the big size purely when you cross the threshold of 10 miles an hour. So if you're going by like the way it looks, it absolutely means nothing. Like an 11-mile-an-hour wind looks bigger than a 10-mile-an-hour wind, but what are you going to do? Give a crap about like a 10% increase in the scenario? No, but the photo makes you think that way. So I'm just rant. It should be obviously scaled by the wind magnitude purely and directly, but welcome to the complaints and the whining of a math guy.
Another last game of the night's going to have another donkey of the day candidate. Dodgers minus 315 with Clayton Kershaw on the mound. Does anyone feel great about backing Clayton Kershaw at this point right now?
I feel like I heard someone take the angle of like he's from Texas and this is like his hometown team and he's going to pitch hard, but I don't like storylines like that. You don't hear me do storylines that affect the betting lines too much on the show, but that was one I almost talked about today. But yeah, I think this is a pretty clear donkey candidate. I mean, you're probably going to put this with the Reds, the Brewers. Both of them are huge favorites. Minus 350 here. I mean, that's just crazy. It was minus 300 this morning, so I don't really know how it's moving so much.
Minus 350 now on your
on action is what I'm seeing. I don't even believe. I literally need to double check that. I don't even believe it. I don't like that. That's nuts.
I mean, I could see it getting bet up to that point, but even at William Hill now it's minus 340.
Holy shit, man! I'm shocked they're even taking bets at those odds.
I mean, they definitely will. They'll still take some action on it, but that's a steep number for sure.
What are people thinking? Why are they just Folty's going to get destroyed?
I mean, obviously the Dodgers are the better team. They should win the game. But the first 5 run line, they have to be winning at the end of 5 is minus 200. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just everyone's fading Foltynewicz is what it is.
So, Kershaw, obviously we know he has all the talent in the world or has had at one point, but you go all the way back in the month of May, since the month of May, last start in, he's had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starts since May 1st. And only one of those has he reached the 7th inning.
I just don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter today is really what the market's yelling at us. We can hear them all the way from over here.
Obviously the Dodgers should win this game for sure. It is most definitely the likely outcome. Minus 340 is a lot.
Yes. So what's going to be the extra legs to finish off this donkey? Because I mean, obviously Dodgers, Reds, Brewers. What else are we putting in there? Are the Nationals making it? Are the Astros making it? I don't know about the Astros, but I think the Nationals have to because of Max Scherzer on the mound. I think you got to back Max. You get the Mets with DeGrom. You get Kershaw in there. Wait, you're not putting your Rays, are you? Because you're fading that side. No. I won't do that because then I usually don't hedge unless I'm hedging live. That's the only way I'll hedge. I will never hedge before a game starts. I hedged that Oakland A's game last night because I had one of my stupid ass parlays sitting on it, and they're sitting there, and it's 1-0, and you could just feel it. And I think I got the Royals at like plus 305 before they just went on a tear. So that was kind of nice. Live betting can be fun.
There you go. All right, so You got 4 legs. You got Nationals, Mets, Dodgers, Brewers. What else do you want in your donkey of the day? Just those 4?
I mean, again, you could push it and you could add the Nationals, right? You could go Nationals, Mets.
That's right. Yeah, I have
Reds,
Nationals,
Brewers,
Mets. Oh, Reds. You want the Reds? I forgot the Reds.
Definitely the Reds. Yeah.
Okay, so that 5-leg parlay: Nationals, Mets, Dodgers, Brewers, Reds pays $561 at William Hill. That's your donkey of the day parlay that I'm not going to play. I know you're going to play it, and you're probably going to do that.
Much money on parlays. I hate it. I hate sitting here. I hate sitting here and talking about straight bets while my straight bets are doing worse than my parlays. It's so frustrating because it's the opposite of what we preach, and it shouldn't be winning. But you know, parlays, if you play them like a certain way, you can definitely like finesse them essentially. So if you if you want to maybe try a method where you can quote unquote like finesse a parlay, you want to make sure that your games are staggered. You don't want to play all your games at once. You don't want to be watching all of your events unfold in real time all at the same time and essentially have your spread of outcomes be like varying 4 points, right? Essentially. So like yesterday, I think I had a couple games where I had everything came down to like the Marlins at the end. And then you're able to have like your effective odds on the Marlins when it comes down to the last leg. You can hedge out of your parlay and sort of just take home some free money. And I do that a lot because like the worst thing is a 3-legger and then you miss the 4th and you go home losing money after you've basically gotten the majority of the work done. So I refuse to take losses like that. I know people are like, ride it out. Nah, I'm going to take my money and go. No one ever lost money taking a profit. So yeah, we have our donkey today. It'll be definitely interesting. You know, if it comes down to the Dodgers and the line is up to like plus 280 on the Rangers, and then the last leg, put $10 on it and make sure that if the Dodgers blow it, that you're at least, you know, not losing money on the parlay. There's nothing wrong with at least getting your entry fee back on a parlay on the last leg like that. I do it a lot. So we'll leave you there. My donkey of the day has been treating us well. One day I'll have to go buy Mike a donkey of the day dinner and we'll take a picture.
There you go. All right, guys. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.